don't discredit how good you really still are just because you don't do it daily, as long as you're physically still in the same condition or similar condition. Right. So to your point, what I do is I make sure I'm always battle ready. Like no matter if I'm going to ride in a truck all day tomorrow, I'm still like this morning, what am I doing? I'm getting up, I'm having coffee, doing what I normally do, and then I'm hitting the gym. But part of my mental strength or my mental routine is working out. It does a world of good for me to keep my mindset straight. I need to exercise to be exercising my mind as well. You know, so that's number one, is always doing that. Number two is moderation. I don't beat myself up for missing a workout because I'm tired, because I'm getting sick, or, you know, I don't have, you know me, I don't have any problem having beers with the guys or eating burgers like every week. Like I'm not like super strict, but I'm consistent. Yeah. And I think consistency, when you find what works for you and you can find something that you're consistent with, that's the long-term goal of like a habit, a lifestyle, if you will, which works for the long term. So in and out of the truck doesn't matter to me as long as I'm true to that. Yep. Because I'm almost always ready. Am I 100%? Probably not. Am I 90? Most times.
Right.
Yeah. You're trying to get 100% to test.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, and this is, I mean, not to make this about me, but and you probably remember this.
Sharing stories, Paul.
It was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Comp. It was a big white oak, and there was a line in it, and I was like, I'm gonna body thrust.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do.
And everybody's like, you're gonna body
what?
And I'm like, yeah. And for me, it was just, I was kind of like challenging myself, looking for a pump, trying to get the arms, the hands
you were up in
working.
The tree all day that day.
Yeah. Right? And I just remember guys like, there were some guys doing the walk. They were coming up as I was going up, and it was like a thing, like, oh, that dude's like, he's going old school, you know? And I'm like, well, that's kind of what I do, you know? But
I love it.
But the muscle memory, like you said, like I was just like, I got in a groove, and it was like, but I think that'll happen sometimes. Like I'll go out on the crew and I'll psych myself out where I'm like, man, I don't know if I got this today.
It's totally normal, I think.
And then I'm but suddenly like the 30, 40 years worth of whatever, just kind of, it happens.
Yeah, it comes to play.
I tell my son sometimes my calluses, like I still have them. My hands are like, they say they're like, you know, baseball mitts or whatever, because I'm not a big glove guy. But like I'll feel the calluses come back sometimes. I swear it feels like within a day. Yeah. Like you put stress on it and the body just responds.
Knows what to do. Yeah. And I wanted to add in there, like you just drove home the point. I think to bring it down to a nutshell, he asked a question and the answer is consistency is the key. Yeah. Which both of you, and myself included, I'm getting more time in the industry, but what you both said was, when you have that muscle memory and you've been doing it for a long time and you do it really well, that never really goes away. But if you're not consistent, it's harder to implement that.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So you just said, am I 100%? No, but I'm about 90%. That's you trying to implement it. But like you said, you have responsibilities where you have to go take care of, because that's a priority. It makes sense. But I feel like maybe, I'm not sure for the listeners, but maybe a lot of people get that position, myself included, as a supervisor. You get that position, you let everything else not be consistent, and that's what makes it harder to return to the trade, harder to get into the trade.
Agreed.
I think that's what it sounds like based on what
you guys 100% agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it makes me cringe when people I know almost brag about that. Oh, I don't have to climb anymore. I don't have to do, and they look like they don't have to climb anymore, and they look like they're not eating right and they're not doing physical stuff. So you don't have to fall in that trap to do what you have to do. And part of it is just, you know, doing the hard stuff regularly that, you know, keeps you like ready. Why don't you want to be ready to fight a bear when you got to, you know what I mean? Right. I mean, figuratively or realistically, I don't know.
No, I just got back from hiking.
Right.
Yeah.
I was ready.
Did you fight a bear? Did you ride a bear? Did you wrestle him?
But you were ready.
Clearly, but I was ready. I was battle ready.
He wasn't gonna back down.
No,
Trick's ready to do damage.
I think all that is just basically every day being true to whatever that is that you need to do for you to feel your optimal best, and always be okay. Like, I'm never satisfied with what I'm doing today. I'm still biohacking, if you will. Like, to this day, I'm trying new stuff. You saw me drinking something earlier, but I mean, it's, to me, I'm always listening. Like right now I'm intermittent fasting. I never did that before this prior year. It's like, I don't know if it's going to work for me long term, but I'm listening to science. I listen to peers. I listen to mentors, and I say, yeah, works for them. I'll give it a shot. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you. I learned, for me personally, you got to be self-aware and, you know, gauge it against that. Don't get blinded by what, like even in tree climbing, I hate people that just try to emulate somebody they think has it dialed in, because it doesn't always work for you. Like I think the best climbers on that note they try everything, they're open to everything, they learn everything, and then they dial it in and say, nah, this doesn't work good for me. I'm not that good on X piece of gear. I'm better on Y. Or I'm better at blending these for this type of climb rather than just sticking to one because I'm stubborn. You know, so I think you got to be self-aware in life too.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And be okay with being wrong.
Yeah, and I think you just nailed the point, because we were kind of talking on the older end of the group.
Yes.
You just nailed the point for the younger.
That's me, by the way.
No, you're old. You're older, not old.
I don't know. Hey, listen, I don't ever shy away from that. Dude.
No,
I'm telling you, I know it. It's never an insult to me.
No.
So when I do some talks like at Expo or something, I get asked two questions. One, you already asked, how often do you climb still? Because that's an interesting question.
Yep.
And one of the reasons for that is because most people think you can't climb until this age and that's it. I mean, I grew up with somebody who told me, I remember to this day, he's like, hey, when you get to be my age, you better be able to do something else because your body won't be able to do what you're doing. I'm like, and then I look back, I'm like, he was like not even 40.
Wow.
Like I won the world championships at 40. He was way wrong.
Wow.
But if you think like that, you know, it's like you believe, if somebody tells you, hey, don't eat onions, they're horrible, and you grow up doing that and then you never taste them, but then you taste them, you're like, wait, I like onions.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not all true.
It's not.
Don't buy into it. Yeah.
No,
test it yourself, you know? Split test it, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I have a spin on that. Maybe you'll like this. Is because I would hear that too. Even my own father was like, "That work's going to kill you," and I was like, "Okay." You know,
and it could.
It could.
They're not wrong
right,
based on the news.
Well, sure,
but it's not always correct.
I think the one thing that I kind of came up with was like, oh, you know, you're going to be a broken down old tree guy.
Yes.
And I said to myself, okay, so what are my options? Okay, now I get a desk job. And now I'm this.
Yeah.
And I got carpal tunnel and I got neck issues. And I got, I mean, so I can either be out and active and physically moving my body, straining, testing, grinding, moving, you know, rubbing up against the hard things of life. And you know, these bodies were designed to work. And when you do, right, or I can sit and be sedentary and take that cushy.
Yeah. You can take that job, but doesn't mean you have to be cushy about it. You could do your job and still do the other stuff on in your own time. I think that makes perfect sense to me. But and I'm not saying this to like you know, like blow smoke or like try to hook up with you, but I think you hear it a lot. Like you look really good for whatever age you are. And I think it's part of what.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Is he blushing right now?
I think he is.
Man, Mark just made a pass at me.
I preface it by saying I am not trying to hook up with you, Paul. I love you to death, but no. But no, seriously.
His feet keep coming over underneath.
Seriously, I think most people who do what we're all talking about right now, and I know you do other stuff too.
Sure.
I think it suits the human body because it's evident in how you look. You hear about that chronological age, biological age issue. Yeah. I bet when you go against people who don't do what you're doing and do the opposite you just explained at your same age, like you went to high school with, we all know those people. You see them and you're like, dang, I went to high school with that same age? Like doesn't really look right. So I've learned from watching others and listening to others that, you know, the cliche age is just a number really does matter unless we're talking biological age. Sure. Then it's not just a number. It really is true. You know, you're biologically this old, and people can be the opposite, and you know those people. You could be 50 with a 60-year biological age because you don't do anything right. You know, so you don't eat right. You're drinking Coca-Cola every day, not the smash Coca-Cola, but let's say something is not that physically good for you, and that's all you drink. Yeah. And you eat poor, and you don't rest, and you don't exercise, and you shy away from hard work. And when I see people at work try to avoid the hardest things, it empowers me to take it on.
Dude,
when I hear someone complain about this, it's such a big tree, I'm like, you know what, do that one. I got this one. Like, no, really, just go. I'll show you what's up. And I'm going to smash this tree better than I did if I didn't hear that. Like, I'm going to be way faster and stronger in this tree because you just said it like that.
Yeah.